This dude, Alex Becker, he's legit a genius. And I heard his entire podcast on Spotify. And I would like to show you some of the key examples and topics he had in there because I think it's very, very, very good actually. So he's much in for this that you shouldn't just go after the money. You should enjoy what you are doing. And I can relate a lot to that because if you're not happy now, if you're sacrificing your happiness for now for something later, that's pretty bad because you can just get your happiness now instead, right? So you should find something that really inspires you and really feels enjoyable to do. So find some work that you really like instead of just focusing on the money all the time. And also this thought about what you think of yourself, because the way it works, your thinking is defined by what you think that guy is thinking, but you can never find out what that guy is thinking about you. So you define yourself of what that guy is thinking, but you don't know what that guy is thinking, so you're defining on yourself on some imaginary thing, and that's very bad. You should just be you, and that's totally okay. And you can't see what everyone is thinking and hear what everyone is thinking, so they're probably just thinking the best, right? So it's also like, okay, don't read too many books because you can get so much more out of your time than reading books, he says. First of all, watch some guys that know a lot about this. He says some CEO interviews that are very long, and just sit there and take all that in that you want to learn from them. Then second, you need to find a guy that's like above you in level, like the next step there where you want to be in like half a year or a year. You need to find that guy and like interact with him and talk with him and get inspiration from him. And third, you need to teach a guy that's under you, so you can teach a level under you, so you can teach these things you are doing, because that will make you motivational and you will teach the stuff, and then you will get reminded, okay, that's actually what I'm doing right now, so this is actually working. And there's some key examples why you don't like the work you're doing right now, or you can't focus on the work. First of all, your body drives you somewhere else. You're addicted to something else. You want dopamine somewhere else, like all these kind of stuff, like porn, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, all these stuff is driving you somewhere else, so you can't focus on your work. Secondly, you need to focus on your digestion, because that takes a lot of energy from you. When you're really sitting down and working, your digestion doesn't need to go on. I suggest that you fast for the main hours of your work, like in the morning, because then you're not digesting anything, so you can fully focus on your energy, on your mind, and really, really work. And then third is finding your purpose. So this is very hard, but for me, I was a gamer when I was younger, and you should think about, okay, what was it inside the game that you really, really enjoyed, really, really liked, and could sit there for 14 hours just doing this thing. And for me, I was gaming a lot of League of Legends, and I like to be like higher rank than my friends, so I could teach them stuff, and I would love that, and I would love teaching them the stuff that I knew. So that's probably my purpose, to teach someone that's like lower than me, so like being a synthesizer, and just teaching so they can get on my level and help them become like better. And then there's garbage luck, the fourth. You need to remove all these distractions, all your friends, and don't message people, and all these distractions that are in your environment. Remove them totally, like your phone, away with it. And the less you got, the better. Just have your computer, that's it, and your bed. And you will do great, because you have removed everything that can distract you. So he also thinks a lot about this dopamine, that you can't do the work you can't enjoy doing the work if your dopamine receptors are very, very getting so much dopamine from other stuff. And these computer games and TikTok and your phone, they are made so they will give you these insanely high amounts of dopamine that your brain can't get naturally from taking a walk. So before we can enjoy work really, really much, we have to cut these things out, because then we will enjoy work a lot, and your brain will do so many things for just getting that dopamine, like the rat going through an electrical field just to hit the dopamine button. It will go through so much pain just to get the dopamine button. And your brain measures this dopamine in ones and zeros. Either you get the dopamine or you don't get the dopamine. So if you're doing like this gaming, you get a lot of dopamine, you get one. And this is bad because this doesn't go do anything for your health or your happiness. So you get a lot of ones. And if you cut that down and you only are doing work, then you get the ones from the work instead, and you can actually feel that amount of dopamine in your brain, and you really like to work. So I recommend that you go on a dopamine detox, and it was here I got my 6 days of dopamine detox from Alex Becker, because he talked a lot about it and it sounded really cool. So I can only say to you that you should try this as well. And I made some videos about this also. You can also think of this in another way, like that's your brain is this donkey. Yeah, this sounds stupid, but this donkey, and you are feeding it all the time with all this food, but this donkey actually you want this donkey to go somewhere else, like go to your work and fulfill your work and do the work. So if you stop feeding with this food, and there's food far further away that's more healthy and stuff like this for you, and you stop feeding it this food immediately, the donkey becomes hungry. The donkey wants to move, then it moves toward the goal you're setting. So you can use that for yourself. Like you're bombarding your brain with all these dopamine all the time. TikTok, Instagram, all this, bombarding it. So it doesn't want to move in the direction you actually want it to move. So if you stop getting all this input and all this dopamine, it will move by itself. Your brain will actually start to be drawn to the work you want to do. So that's very, very powerful. So, okay, when you have this deep work, you should find when your deep work hours are. They're probably in the morning, but it can also be later, and really find, okay, where can you concentrate the most, and find those hours and really work there. Then you need to get all the distractions out of the way so you don't pick up the phone or do some stupid shit. And then third, you need to work on one thing only. So for example, Alex Moses says this, like, it's the season of, right now my season is learning. So I'm learning a lot. And the one thing I'm doing is learning all the time when I'm in my deep hours. And you should have like one goal you're working against, not 10 different goals, just one goal you really want to do, like learn about procrastination or something like that. And you really need to make some sacrifice, and don't just sit there and I don't want to do this, I don't want to take my phone away, I still want to watch porn and all this stuff. You really need to make these sacrifices, because we will grow so much from the sacrifices. And I think this is a good thing to remember, that everything we are using our time on is an investment. And you should think, is that a good ROI for me to invest my time in this? So this you can take in every aspect of your life. So is it a good investment of my time to go on Instagram for 2 hours? What do I get out of this? What do you get out of it? You're comparing yourself to others, bad. You are getting poor mental health, bad. You are just lazy, bad. It's just bad. Yeah? So you could also do, okay, you're investing time when you're together with your girlfriend. Is that a good ROI? Because do you want to live with her for the rest of your life? Otherwise, it's probably not a good ROI. So you can take this in many aspects of your life. And he also says this, like, don't just do, like, a lot of people do this. Monkey see, monkey do. So don't try to mimic people. Don't mimic people, because that will not get anything good out of. If you're trying something new, you should double down on your weirdness instead, because that makes you really authentic, and people would like you for you and your weirdness. And that's very good, because then they will watch you and not the content you're producing, but they want to watch you. Alex Becker, he also said, like, his diet was very easy, and I can tell. So he says he eats oatmeal, spinach, green juice, lean chicken, olive oil, and some fish oil. So that's a great mindset, that you should imagine that you only have like 1 month back to live in. And what would you do in these months? Okay, you should go total YOLO mode and do all this kind of stuff, but it's more like this thinking, would I really spend my time on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok if I had 1 month to live in? You probably wouldn't. You'd probably be with your family and try to be happy in the last month of your life. So really try to get that in. And you need to realize by now that the time is limited. So you need to really, really spend it well, because we don't have all the time in the world. That we need to die at some point. So our time is very limited. This was the things I got out from his podcast. I really think you should watch it. But this is actually like the key examples of and the key topics from his topic, and I found it really interesting, and it inspired me to do the night memo detox for 6 days. So I think it will also inspire you a lot.